Hi, this is my ranking. Okay, here we go. 1 free 5-star servant from Fate Grand Order. Unlike the last one, this one doesn't have a time limit, so it's very much a permanent cool thing. Now this list doesn't include everyone, only 32 of them, but that doesn't make choosing one easy. It's so easy! Choose your favorite! Now obviously this advice is very worthless to you, so let's move along. There are so many variables that can make a specific servant good or great, which makes ranking them kind of hard. Easily the biggest influence is those specific limited support servants that can drastically improve another servant's performance, so like it or not, they'll probably affect the rankings. After all, this is a team game. You know, except for when it's not. Okay, tier list, let's get started. Caster Man. Actually very useless, really overrated. You go up here. Saba. A Buster Saber that can loop her Noble Phantasm, has simple but solid skill sets, and can change all her cards to red. But even if you don't have the support servants for Buster looping, she's still pretty good. Best part is, if you don't manage to get her limited caster form, with a bit of editing you can pretend you did. Tamamo. Compared to Caster Man, she's got different buffs, the ability to heal, skill cooldown, and, fairly significantly, the Noble Phantasm charge is tied to her own Noble Phantasm rather than a skill. Nevertheless, just because she's different doesn't mean she's worse. A great deal of her strength lies in endurance, and the overall increase in damage output is just icing on the cake. Not every servant plays the same, and a great deal of deciding what's best for you depends on your favorite playstyle, or more realistically, whatever servants you've got to work with. Still, I think in many respects, she's an excellent candidate. Moon Cancer, there's no specific order to which I'm bringing these servants in. Now I am taking future buffs into account. On one hand, they're not here yet, and so the servant's current performance won't be as great. On the other hand, they will be here, and most buffs actually make a significant difference. Jinako has a lot of capable skills, from boosting fighting capabilities to defensive tools, and a Noble Phantasm that works well with her kit. However, she's also a Moon Cancer servant, which, while extremely rare, is also rarely used. She also skill seals her ally with her third ability, which isn't impossible to work around, and the other buffs can be well worth it, though that depends on the fight. Overall, while she can be a very good servant, benefiting best often involves situational conditions, and that's not even taking into account whether you have other servants that might match up better with their class. Arjuna. He's one of the best triple arts Buster Noble Phantasm Archer servant that might inflict instant death. This mismatch of a card deck makes it difficult for him to fit as smoothly as other servants in card-specific teams, especially since it's not a skill set you'd match with triple arts. He does get a monkey in one of his costumes. Or maybe there's a more specific name, I don't really know my monkeys. Unfortunately, not even the rubber ducky is enough to make him stand above the other archers, so down you go. Francis Drake. A staple in QP farming, and with certain supports, can thrive in Buster looping. Admittedly without support, she has a pretty short-term skill set, though future buffs can help with that regard. Overall, she's a strong servant that benefits further from her class, so not a bad pick at all. Scheherazade. As someone who got her 3 different times when I really wanted 3 other servants, I have to admit, that king bonus does work. Now there are actually several kings that are also assassins or berserkers, but these are still rather rare overlaps, and the number of times the fight's actually that difficult, I can count on one hand. Still, despite having one of the lowest attack values while stuck in a class that actually decreases her damage, her first skill and looping potential can compensate for this. With that being said, her other 2 skills don't directly support damage output, and while they are interesting, they're pretty niche. Xiang Yu, a critical hit berserker with a strong skill set that can break through invincibility. This is great for a berserker, given they hit most classes hard. Still, most classes also hit them hard, but I suppose that's the trade-off. Lastly, given his deck, he's not an ultra-reliable looper. Altera. She's got some capable skills, buff buffs, crit stars, and the ability to remove enemy defensive buffs. These make her a very strong servant, but when compared to the other 2 sabers on this list, one thing is lacking: a Noble Phantasm charge. She'll get that eventually. Europa. A strong rider servant. She's got more defensive tools than Francis Drake, but perhaps as a result, her damage output is just a bit behind. Personally, I value offensive power in a damage dealer, so when comparing the 2, I'd prefer Drake, though that's not to say Europa can't loop. Enkidu. An amazing lancer with great capabilities. The skill set here is pretty straightforward, but allows Enkidu to function well in a team or solo. Furthermore, the single target Noble Phantasm is already pretty strong, even without taking special traits into account. A Noble Phantasm charge is slated for the future, making Enkidu an even better servant. Jack the Ripper. Another capable servant with excellent star generation and strong noble phantasm gain. Despite this, the assassin class doesn't help her damage, though this can be mitigated by her MP gain and damage bonus. Her skills haven't received any buffs either, though I suppose it's a testament to her capabilities that she can still contribute better than most. Sanzang stands out as a powerful single-target caster, especially with her first ability to fill the NP gauge quickly. The Noble Phantasm itself is well known for its strength, but Xuanzang can also play a supporting role with her second and third skills as well. Napoleon, a powerful buster archer that faces stiff competition from other famous buster archers. This doesn't detract from his viability at all. His skills, stats, and damage output are all a testament to his strength, especially when those bonuses kick in. As far as the servants on this list, Napoleon isn't a bad pick at all. Bradamante, an excellent lancer when paired with strong quick support. Despite her simple skill set, she's got a nice third skill with the small NP charge and debuff cleanse, but overall her kit is rather tame for a 5-star servant. It'd be nice if she gets buffs to raise her capabilities in the future. Anastasia. She's a solid caster that doesn't need to rely on a niche. She's got her own tools to charge her Noble Phantasm, offensive buffs to increase its strengths, and some extra debuffs to throw out as well. Admittedly, she will need some extra help if you want to set up a stable loop, but it's not as if she's helpless without it. Ozymandias. He's already a great servant, with simple and strong support combined with his solid damage dealing capabilities. Buff his Noble Phantasm, bring in the sun, bask in its glory, and you've got a very capable rider that will benefit even further from extra support. Orion boasts an excellent mail killer, and Noble Phantasm can set your opponent's damage back. The potential defensive capabilities does detract from damage just a bit, and when it comes to offense there are just much more consistent picks. Mordred, another strong saber. Not only does she have a better time with crit stars, she's also got some looping potential with the right tools. Even if you take looping out of the equation, she's still a capable servant, though she'll be waiting for a rank up quest that'll let her buffs last a bit longer. Vlad III, an arts berserker that thrives in arts teams, especially with his Noble Phantasm that decreases your enemy's arts resistance. He's a very solid servant that can go further with strong support, though he notably does not perform quite as well outside of arts teams. Karna. He's a powerful lancer that can follow his Noble Phantasm with strong critical hits, but getting those crit stars usually requires someone else's support. He's not the apex contender for buster looping either. When the stars align, Karna will excel, but seriously, that crit star thing is pretty important. Nightingale, a support servant who's also a berserker, which can make it hard to provide consistent support in the first place. Her defensive capabilities don't really make up for this either, so you might have to bring a support to support the support, and then at that point you may as well bring someone else. Still, her skills are certainly strong, her buster buff will get even better, and as a berserker she isn't likely to take up all the stars. Ultimately, she's very effective when her skills are up, and then usually at risk otherwise. Osakabehime. She's a good assassin support with a variety of tools, though admittedly the NP gauge charge is kind of on the low end. She does bring a lot of other uncommon things in return though, buff removal, decent durability, and some offensive buffs as well. However, her team defensive buffs aren't actually as high as her own, and so she isn't the best option to help your team survive. She won't be used as often as a more general supporter, but you can definitely make it work with some thinking. Achilles, another strong rider. Wow, they're all pretty good, though this one utilizes quick. He has a good foundation to start with, and his last two skills let him tank if used together. Of course, their turn durations are different at max level, so it's not as seamless as you might like, but his strong damage performance more than makes up for this. Ruler. Two of these skills are incredibly simple, like, look at this, and while her second skill did get buffed, it would be nice if the other two could get a similar treatment. Still, her defensive capabilities are undeniable, and if that extra defense down the buff, then maybe you won't have to stall as long in the future. Ultimately, she's much better at defending than attacking, and her presence won't strengthen other servants as much as the ones on top. And now for the story lock servants. Servants who aren't available in the limited banners unless their face is there. Now you can get them through the story summon banner, but yeah, you probably won't. Tesla, with a 50% NP charge and a Noble Phantasm that hits most of the cast even harder, Tesla makes for a powerful servant. His biggest problem, his chance-based features, will eventually be improved with a future buff. Lancer, a 50% NP charge puts her in a great spot for buster looping, but she doesn't really do much aside from hitting the enemy hard. Unfortunately, her best buffs don't last long enough to benefit a full loop, but being able to loop is already a significant advantage. Quetzalcoatl, a buster rider that makes great use of her class, cards, and skills. Her utility can help other servants, but more often than not she'll be the one dishing out damage in difficult fights. Medb, another single target buster rider. This one not only works great against men, but also works well with them, and fairy people can benefit too. This support is mainly oriented towards dealing more damage, which can lead to competition over crit stars if you're fielding another damage dealer. It does put her in a tricky position, but no one's going to complain over charging their noble phantasm. Shades, the man who needs no second strike puts his everything into one turn, shattering the assassin class's limitations of his kit. Having said that, things can get awkward if he needs a second strike, as his powerful skills are balanced by their short duration. Berserker Altera, a powerful berserker who packs a kit tailored to survival. The lack of offensive buffs is balanced by his berserker advantages, especially when his noble phantasm is ready to go. Unfortunately, perhaps because he is so capable, this old servant hasn't received as many buffs as the others, which I guess you can take as testament to his strengths. And lastly, Alter Ego. Though the Alter Ego class has the advantage of hitting multiple classes hard, they don't hit as hard as a more direct counter. Still, they do have a better advantage against foreigners, and this one packs a solid kit for herself as well as a bit of defense for your team. And that's all 32 servants, and according to my bias, I'm ranking them like this. I'm valuing the strongest single target servants for the toughest fights, and I personally don't think you should choose a damage dealing servant just for farming unless you're incredibly exceptional. Still, all of these servants have something to bring to the table, whether it's exceptional support, exceptional defense, or monkey, so you really can't go wrong unless you're foolish enough to disagree with someone else. Personally, in my case I'm debating between Tamamo, Berserker Alter, 5-star Ruler, or 5-star Alter Ego. In most cases I either already have them, have a better option, or just plain took the monkey. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Comment below who you plan to get, or which servants you want to get, or maybe just which servants you straight up won't get. Or maybe you'll hold on to this ticket because you might get a happy spook. Or maybe you won't be that happy and rob you of your chance at getting someone you liked more.